Hi guys, Mike in the Woods here. If you're new to backcountry camping or backpacking, you've probably seen the sometimes very heated discussion involving camp cookpots, specifically in regards to what metal they're made out of. And that's usually either titanium, aluminum, or stainless steel. It's a very important decision to make when picking some backcountry camp cookware, as it balances price, durability, and weight. So quick reminder to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let's get you up to speed. First and foremost, at the end of the day, if you already have cookware, either you borrowed it or it was given to you, that's a perfectly fine place to start until you grow and figure out what your needs are. This video is meant to show you what the differences are between the various metals these cookpots are made out of and what sort of adventures would benefit the most from their characteristics. But at the end of the day, if you're more comfortable with something specific, familiarity wins out over everything else. Okay, so let's talk about the three primary characteristics that matter when figuring out what you want. There's price, there's durability, and there's weight. If you picture these three elements on a triangle diagram with a pick two mentality, you'll notice that the three materials, for the most part, distribute in a way that each have a unique combination of two of the strengths and one weakness. Stainless steel, while inexpensive and durable, is heavier than the other materials. Aluminum is cheap and lightweight, but not very durable. And titanium is both durable and lightweight, but fairly expensive. Price matters for anyone on a budget who just want something simple to cook with. Both stainless steel and aluminum options do well here, but aluminum is probably the cheapest out of the two in terms of price. This is generally what you'll find in places like Walmart with brands like Coleman or Coughlin's, budget brand stuff. Titanium, being an expensive metal, tends to be around roughly twice the price of a comparable steel or aluminum pot. If you're a backpacker, especially if you're looking to go ultralight, weight matters. Everything you bring with you has to be hiked on your back, and trust me when I say every ounce saved helps. You'd figure titanium would be the lightest of the three, right? But believe it or not, aluminum is actually even lighter, by a large margin. Let's take a look at how each metal compares. Broken down, here's the average weight of each metal type. Aluminum is 2.7 grams per cubic centimeter, titanium is 4.54 grams per cubic centimeter, and stainless steel is 7.7 to 8 grams per cubic centimeter. It varies depending on the particular flavor of steel. Aluminum is by far the lightest option. Titanium is 68% heavier. However, since you can have less titanium while still having a strong structure, the titanium options still usually wind up weighing less overall. And stainless steel, like I mentioned, is the worst offender here in the weight category. It is, at minimum, 185% heavier by volume than aluminum. That's almost 3 times as heavy. For some people, what matters the most is durability, how much they can beat the absolute crap out of their gear without it ever complaining. Stainless steel is definitely the toughest out of the three in terms of dent and scratch resistance, while aluminum is very easy to deform as it's a very malleable metal. Since you're often cooking over an open flame, or if you're like me, right in the coals themselves, the temperature resilience of your cookware matters a lot. Here's the melting temperature of each metal. Aluminum is really low at 660 degrees Celsius, stainless steel is 1,375 degrees Celsius, and titanium is 1,668 degrees Celsius. And for reference, the average campfire reaches almost 500 degrees Celsius, which can get even hotter with the right conditions, which is really close to aluminum's melting temperature. Personally, I run a stainless steel pot, and I abuse the heck out of it by charring out stuck-on food, by burning it off right in the fire, often to the point that my pot gets red hot while it's in there. It's definitely suffered some warping, and the bolts that held the handle in place, which must have been a cheaper metal with a lower melting temperature, melted right off, so now I have no more handle. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Steel and titanium are fine to be right in the fire, but aluminum is the one you should be really careful of. It's super easy to warp from high heat, and if your fire gets hot enough, you really can actually melt it. There's other factors that might affect what type of cookpot you want as well. One factor is heat conduction. How evenly does your cookpot heat? Aluminum and titanium have amazing heat conductivity, but stainless steel does not, which is probably why I frequently wind up with burned food at the bottom of my pot when I cook. This is very important if you are cooking with a finite resource like gas canisters, where it will take comparatively longer to cook food or boil water in a steel pot compared to aluminum or titanium. And there's also the time aspect, if you're on a high-speed, low-drag type trip where every minute of downtime counts. And then there's corrosion resistance. All three metals corrode to some capacity, with titanium being the slowest of the three. And obviously, exposure to salt, such as salty seawater, can definitely speed up the process. The worst offender though, ironically, is definitely stainless steel. I've left my pots and cutlery with a bit of moisture in them from a previous trip, and I had to scrub off rust before I could use them again. So it's very important to keep your cookware clean and dry in between uses, though it's even more of a consideration for stainless steel. It's not rust proof, just rust resistant, as it still contains iron. If you're a casual camper or just getting started on some light-duty backpacking trips on a budget, aluminum is perfectly fine. If you're going canoe tripping, overlanding, or any other type of expedition where weight isn't that big of a concern, you can't go wrong with stainless steel. If you're jumping right into the deep end of things with a long-distance backpacking trip or anything else where you need something reliable and light, titanium is the go-to option. At the end of the day though, go with whatever is available to you. Don't get stuck with analysis paralysis. The most important factor is whatever gets you out there and having fun. If you find a $3 pot at the thrift store, that's a perfectly good starting point. Experiment and get a feel for what works for you and what doesn't. Trade gear with your outdoors friends. Borrow stuff to try it out. I'll leave some Amazon affiliate links in the description to my recommendations, including the pots that I myself use. If you're new to the channel, I take a look at how fun, futuristic technology can intersect with traditional outdoors experiences, so consider checking out my other videos and subscribe if that's your thing. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.